Hi everyone. I'm glad you're here to join in our conversations with the Philippines' top industry leaders. It's time to pick their brilliant minds and see what makes them tick. Get ready to take down some notes as we talk about business, life, and everything in between. I am Manzano, and this is CLOCKWORK. Everybody dreams of living the good life. Today's guest is focused on keeping that hope alive for many Filipinos. A former athlete and banker, his shift towards the real estate industry seemed to have been written in the stars. Timely would be the best way to describe it. In the middle of difficulty, he found an opportunity and grabbed it. Today's guest is a fellow Lasallian who, as a child, says he wasn't very sure what he wanted to be when he grew up. All he knew was that he was a persistent kind of guy and had the determination to pursue his goals. And that was enough. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Jose Mari Banzon, President of the SM Development Corporation. Good day, Mr. Banzon.
Good day. Hi, Edu. Thanks for having me here.
You know, it thrills me to say that you and I share the same alma mater, Animo Lasal. Animo. Well, tell me about your Lasal days.
I'm actually a loyal Lasalite. I went to school in Lasal from grade school all the way up to the university. I went to grade school in Lasal Taft. They still had grade school back then.
Yeah.
And my brothers were 8 in the family. The eldest is my sister, and then 7 boys all the way down. We all went to Lasal. So a very green-blooded family.
The same in my case. Same grade school, high school, all the way to university. But I would like to let all of our listeners know that I'm way ahead of you. So that should kind of just put your mind at ease. Tell me, when you're in high school, you know, you didn't really have a specific career in mind.
No, actually, when I was graduating, I was 4th year high school. I was going to graduate and move on to college. I was going to Lasal. I wasn't sure what career to take. I was talking to my mom. I was thinking maybe I'd be a lawyer or maybe follow the footsteps of my dad in the military. I even thought of being a Lasal brother. I don't know why, but... And then my mom told me, she said that, why don't you just take a business course? Because at the end of the day, everybody's a businessman. That made sense to me. So with that, I decided to take LIACOM in Lasal, that's Liberal Arts and Commerce. It's a 2-degree course. I took Economics and Management of Financial Institutions. So that's how I decided actually my direction in career.
But you became not just an athlete, but you became an athlete to be reckoned with. You're a Lasal Hall of Famer. What was that about running track that excited you so much?
Well, you see, I had a lot of energy. I was very sporty, but I was very weak in technique. So I had to choose a sport that was very basic, and there's nothing more basic than running. You can just do it alone. Very simple sport, so that I like the simplicity of it.
Well, you were also fortunate enough to have been mentored by a track and field legend, Coach Tatang Mendoza. What did you learn from Tatang that you have brought with you to your personal and professional life?
Tatang was my coach in Lasal Green Hills High School. He was also coach of the track team and coach of the basketball team. And he actually gave us championships in both. We were in the NCAA back then. Very good. He was very religious. He didn't only develop us physically for our events, but also spiritually. So, because we were in high school, so I mean, you get cocky because like you're an athlete. But then he made it a point to keep on telling us that your talent came from God. So you have to honor Him. You have to thank Him. You have to be religious. So he insisted we'd go to mass every day. I had to go. We'd go there in the afternoon, right before classes in Lasal Green Hills, and then it's a small chapel, like 60 square meters, and then we all make sure that we're there, and then we make sure that he sees us, so that we that fear of God. Yeah, I brought up with me in my career. Also, and then he taught us humility. Of course, your talent didn't come from you; it came from God. So
You've received a lot of accolades and a lot of recognition for your athleticism. But what can you say is your biggest accomplishment as an athlete?
biggest accomplishments as an athlete is the fact that I'm still one. I still run. I haven't really stopped running since high school. I still compete in, I run marathons. I run both half marathons and full marathons. I actually did 42K Tokyo Marathon and 42K New York Marathon the same year, about 6 years ago. I think the fact that I can still run at this late age is quite an achievement, and I'm very proud of that.
Going to talk late age, yeah, I should be looking at myself because, how many times do you run, let's say, in a week?
I'm not training now, but I try to run about 2 to 3 times a week. When you're training, you have to run at least every other day, so about 4 times a week or 4 to 5 times. So now it's about 2 to 3 times just to keep fit.
Well, somebody told me, and I hope you don't mind confirming, you wake up really early in the morning?
When I train for a marathon, I wake up, depends on the distance, but it could be anywhere from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. 4 a.m. at the latest. Because it's a long distance, so I have to go to work. So I just have to finish the distance before I leave for the office.
Okay, 3 a.m. I'm just going home by that time. Okay, but then, now, I mean, that kind of discipline, I can see how you were able to transition from an athlete to a banker. And you could have pursued athletics, but you opted to join the corporate world. How did you come to make that decision? And what were your primary motivations?
When I was in the university, I gave as much importance to my academics as I did to my athletics. As a matter of fact, when I graduated, my graduating batch, I was MVP, and at the same time, I graduated with honors. I knew that there wasn't really much money to be made if I pursued a career in athletics. So that I decided to pursue the career related to the course I took, which is Management of Financial Institutions. So I ended up being a banker. When I graduated, I was lucky to get a job in Hong Kong to work for a bank. And I actually worked in Hong Kong for 15 years in the banking industry.
I mean, first job, Hong Kong, one of the financial capitals of the world. What did you find that kind of daunting and overwhelming?
No, actually, I was fortunate because they got me for a training program, and that so that even if you're a fresh graduate, you enter into a management training program. They make it quite comfortable for you. I was quite fortunate actually because I graduated in 1983. That was actually a crisis. That was when Nino Aquino was shot, and banks were not only not hiring, they were firing people. So I was quite fortunate to have gotten a job overseas. I was just lucky.
Yeah. Well, you're making me feel very unworthy. So wait, now, if you don't mind, I want to see just how quick you really are. Okay, can we do a sprint question and answer portion? I'm going to throw you some questions and just give me one-line answers. That will kind of help our viewers get a better understanding of how your mind works.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What are the words or word that you live by?
Push yourself to the limits of your abilities so you have no regrets when you're old.
Okay. Good start. Here's a hard one. Superman or Captain America?
Wow. Hirap nun. Superman. Because he can fly. He doesn't need a shield to protect him. He's stronger.
Okay. Sports outfit or business attire?
Business attire.
Why do you run?
Keeps me fit, and it gives me time to be alone with my thoughts.
Okay. If you would get stuck in an elevator, which personality or celebrity would you want to be stuck in with? Present company excluded.
Stuck in an elevator.
Yep.
MacGyver.
Whoa! Good answer. A good answer.
Not many people will understand that unless they're old.
Yeah, no, I'm going to have to rethink my former answers because I think MacGyver would have been the best answer.
Yeah.
Next, lobby or penthouse?
Penthouse.
The view.
Yeah.
Is that why?
Yeah, you have a wider view of the world.
Okay. And in your case, probably also you're going to say of life. Dead person you wish you could have dinner with?
My idol, Winston Churchill.
Oh, okay. I'm a John F. Kennedy guy myself.
Really?
Here we go. Best decision you ever made in your life?
Take up athletics. It formed my character, discipline, hard work. It gave me a lot of values that I still use today.
I agree. I was quite an athlete too myself. But who is your favorite sports idol?
Sebastian Coe.
Wow, still running.
Yeah, he's the 1980 and 1984 1500 meter Olympic champion.
One of your favorite events?
The 1500 meters.
Okay. Favorite
That's
dish?
my favorite event. Roast chicken.
Okay, we're good. I feel better now. Most important part of a home?
The dining room.
The dining room.
That's where, that everybody looks forward to the meal at the end of the day. That's where if you're in a family, that's where you share your stories or what's happening to your day.
Okay. Now, think about your next answer very carefully. One word to describe SMDC.
Game changer.
Okay. You're good. You're very good. Here we go. Last thing you said to your wife before this interview, and it can't be about me.
Really? I was going to say the last thing, seriously, was that I can't ask for any Manzano's autograph because it's a Zoom interview.
It's on the way. Don't you worry. Thank you. You're making me feel a lot better. Mr. Banzon, you're one of the leaders of one of the country's biggest companies. Sabi nila, the bigger you are, the harder you fall. But strategies did SMDC put in place to ensure long-term resiliency and remain, well, quote, unquote, COVID-proof?
SMDC has been known as a developer of affordable housing. And so that's always been our market. Now, with the pandemic, a lot of our buyers have been affected. The income have been affected. The income has been impaired. So we need to be sensitive to the situation. So what we did was that we developed even more affordable products. Before, our product range would range from about 3.5 to 8 million pesos. Now we created a product that's a condominium that's only 3 million pesos and a house and lot that's only about 1 to 2 million pesos. So we adjust to the market's cash flow. We have also been working with our principals to brainstorming to make sure that our products are suitable for the situation. To start with, our developments have existing features that are suitable for this situation. Like during the lockdown, all of our developments have commercial strips on the ground floor, so that when the lockdown happened, the residents just had to go down and they can still do their grocery because you can't go out. But then because of the commercial strips, they can still do their grocery, they can buy their medicines, they can do their banking. So that's COVID-proof. The additional feature of our development is that we have large open common areas. The outside, we have large gardens. The lobbies are huge, so that there's plenty of opportunities for social distancing. But then we have also made adjustments to our products. Like realizing that work from home is a new trend now, that's part of the new normal. We put a working station in our condominium units. We have strong Wi-Fi. We have a common workplace in our common area. Our lobbies are our huge lobbies are always air conditioned, but now we're designing them to have operable windows so that and electric fans, ceiling fans, so that the condominium corporation would have the option, if they don't want the air conditioning, they can just have ventilation, natural ventilation. So we've made these adjustments to make sure that our developments are COVID-proof.
Seeing how you were confronted with all these challenges, and seeing how you actually did address these challenges, I'm just curious, was there ever a time when I know I have, when you felt that you just wanted to, throw in the towel and wait for the crisis to end before going about your business?
Actually, of course, there was concern initially, but that quickly went away. You see, when the lockdown happened, there was actually some talk of a lockdown before it happened, so we had prepared for it. Days before, we got all department heads together and we came up with plan A, B, C, depends on different scenarios. As it turned out, we had to resort to plan C because the worst case was total lockdown. But people knew what to do. We said, okay, we're going to have a total lockdown, we'll go to plan C. Everybody brought home their laptops and their desktops. For those who didn't have Wi-Fi at home, we gave pocket Wi-Fi. We had them connected to the head office. And fortunately, our sellers were already used to selling online, even before the lockdown. So our sales was not disrupted. Because we had prepared, it gave us some comfort that we didn't really worry too much when the lockdown happened. And actually, our operations continued to do well, even during the lockdown.
Did you feel like there was a need for you to change your leadership style during the pandemic?
If anything, it made me realize the importance of digitalization, the new economy, because you had to do a lot of things remotely. We actually have a digital strategy, but it's one of those things that you kind of plan out over a long period of time because it costs a lot of money. What I did was we accelerated it, because now you realize that you can't be left behind. You have to be ready for that. Now, in terms of leadership style, I spend a lot more time with our IT team. Even my choice of reading materials, I've been reading a lot about Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and Alibaba, Jack Ma, because it just changes your perspective and makes you realize that you have to embrace this as soon as possible, because it's not an option. It's something you have to do if you were to survive.
I'm just curious because I can see how you've also invested a lot in people, but did you also realize that there was also a need to upgrade infrastructure?
Exactly. So that's why we actually accelerated our budget. For example, we use physical servers, the big server storage space. But then if you're going to have a digital strategy and if you want to come up with really powerful applications, you'll have to shift to the cloud. So we're looking at that kind of direction. So we're actually coming up with a big budget to be able to pursue our digital strategy.
A common line I always hear, not just often, always, the importance of location, location, location. How important is it for SMDC to choose the right location for its development?
Actually, it's everything, because where we decide to put our condominiums will determine whether or not it becomes successful or not. So we actually have a department, a whole department that goes around the Philippines looking for properties. They have an army of brokers, and we get hundreds of offers to sell every week. We sift through that, and then we present it to the family board, to our principal, the C family. We make sure that the location has good access. So location is very vital to our decision in buying properties.
Well, if you are going to buy a next property, would you mind calling me first and letting me know where it is?
Sure.
I'm just kidding. We're going to go to our what we call our master class portion. Jo Marie, given your expertise, can you share your best advice when it comes to choosing the location of your next home or property you would want to set up a business in or develop?
Whenever we decide on a property, of course, location is important, accessibility, availability of utilities, make sure it's not flood prone. We always put ourselves in the shoes of the buyer. Question comes to our minds is, would I want to live there? So we look at all of these features and make sure that it's in the property before we launch it. We launch our projects.
My next question is something also that I'm sure you consider. Creating what could be someone's dream home. Mr. Jo Marie, have you built your dream home?
I have very big dreams. Actually, I can't afford my dreams. But I did build my home. I built it from scratch. It has everything that we need. We have 4 bedrooms and each with a bathroom and everything that you'd want in a home. We're pretty happy with it. More importantly, I have my study. So I'm quite okay.
You know, anytime you get appointed or you get promoted, I mean, that's a time for great celebration. But your appointment as president of SMDC could not have come at a more, if you don't mind my saying so, difficult time. You know, it was in February last year, 2020, when the global pandemic was causing concern to businesses and, of course, the general public. And in just a few days, the country went into lockdown. I mean, what was going through your mind when you took office?
It was a real challenge, and there was a lot of uncertainty. And with the pandemic, there's no playbook. There's no like guidelines. Like nobody's written like the rules on how you're supposed to deal with it. But then I quickly got comfortable when, precisely because we had prepared for it, we came up with a strategy that actually worked. Our sales continued to come in. The backroom was holding up. We're very fortunate that we have a very supportive principals, the C family. You know,
I'm sure when you were first offered the job, I mean, you spoke about the mission, vision of the company, and then here comes the challenges. I'm sure you had to pivot right away and consider new strategies. Were you afraid that maybe you may not exactly reach or surpass expectations?
The thing about SMDC is that we're a very nimble and agile organization. So we could actually adjust very quickly, precisely because our principals are very much involved. We have direct contact. We talk to them. We deal with them every day. We're always communicating. So decisions get made very quickly. So we actually have a good setup that allows us to weather crises like this. Remember that the Philippines has gone through a lot of major crises in the past, like the Asian financial crisis in 1998. That was really rough. The subprime crisis in 2010. But you just have to tighten your belt and just weather through it, and you come out stronger and wiser after that.
During a backgrounder on you, that you were also into asset recovery. And I guess it's safe to assume that that happened during the 1997-1998 Asian crisis. Do you see the same thing happening now, that a lot of people will have to let go of a lot of what they've accumulated in order to stay above ground?
The current crisis, while it's affected a lot of people's cash flow, is not as bad as the Asian financial crisis. The default, I understand the default rate is not as serious. And fortunately, they already have a vaccine and things are going to start picking up. So I don't think it will be the same extent as during the Asian financial crisis. I think this one, the banks would be able to manage better, especially since they learned from that and they're much better capitalized now.
Now the mantra of practically every business in all industries is adapting to the new normal. What's your take on the future of the real estate industry?
The real estate industry will always be a good investment. Real estate never really loses its value. It always goes up because it's tangible, it's finite, it's permanent. So that, of course, there will be blips like this, yeah? And ultimately, the prices will go up. Like for example, where our office is, the Mall of Asia complex, the Bay Area, just over 10 years ago, the value here was 60,000. Now it's about 350, 360,000 if you can find sellers. So as long as you hold on to it, real estate will always be one of the best investments that you can find. I'm not worried at all.
Now, we were talking about the importance of location earlier. I guess it's time to play another game. Since you're the man on top of SMDC, we want to get a better idea of how familiar you are with the view from the top of your more popular residences. Our team visited the rooftops of several SMDC properties, and took some images of the surrounding areas and communities. Mr. Josemari Banzon, with your permission, we will flash these images on screen. And if you can name at least 5 of these areas or residences, you will get a prize from us.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'll try.
Okay, here we go. Here's our first image.
Okay, that's the view of the Manila Bay. That must be Breeze Residences. Yeah, it has a view of Manila Bay and world famous Manila Bay sunset.
You seem very confident there. There was no hesitation in your part.
That's my view in the office.
Oh, okay.
My office is in the Mall of Asia.
Okay, so now understandable. Now let's go to the second one. Let's see how quick you answer this one. Here's our second image.
Okay, there's an SM Mall. That mall is the SM Mall in North EDSA. You can tell because there's a very big solar panel roof there. So that must be Grass Residences in Quezon City.
Before I go to the next image, you spoke about solar panels. I noticed some of your properties in BGC. You've started to outfit the buildings with solar panels. Are you looking more to invest in solar energy in the future with the rest of your developments?
Our principal, Mr. Hans C., is very much involved in this renewable energy and resilience and so on. So that's definitely going to be a direction that SM will be going into.
Okay. Sorry if I had to deviate for a second, but now let's go back. I just wanted to give you a breather. Now let's go to our third image.
That's easy. That's Rizal Memorial. Even you recognize that. Rizal Memorial, it's near LaSalle. We have a project there called Green Residences, appropriately named Green Residences. It has a view of the Rizal Memorial and also a good view of Manila Bay.
Okay, the first two were given because we saw the Mall of Asia. Okay, this one now, we would like to reveal to our televiewers exactly if you're right or not. Let them be the judge. Yeah, you're right again. Why am I still asking you these questions? Okay, let's go to our fourth image.
There's a Makati skyline. You can see that from Mandaluyong. Our project in Mandaluyong along EDSA is Light Residences. Yeah,
I know where that is. Yes. Okay. And our reveal says, okay, 4 out of 4, great batting average.
Maybe I have to get the prize.
If you get the next one, you can. If you don't get the next one, rather, cancel the prize. Okay. So everything depends on this one. Our fifth image.
Okay, that's the globe in front of the Mall of Asia. It's a little tricky because we have many residential projects in the Mall of Asia, but this must be shell residences because of the angle. Other than shell residences, we have C, we have shore, we have S. But this is definitely shell residences because of the angle you've taken the shot from.
Why did I even think that we'd catch you? Let's see what the reveal is. Yeah. Okay, 5 out of 5. Yep, you'll keep your position with SMDC for another 30 years. Okay? That was great. Thank you very, very much. But wait, before you go, can we have some parting words for our viewers?
The current crisis, while painful, is a temporary blip in the economy. At the end of the day, if you have a chance to invest in real estate, it's a good time to invest because real estate being, as I mentioned, being tangible and finite and permanent is probably the best investment that you'll make. So don't let the current environment stop you. It's actually a good opportunity now to buy.
Well, as I promised, since you passed our little quiz with flying colors, you'll get a prize from us. We actually sent it to your office already. I don't know, I hope it's there. And if it is, would you mind opening it?
Yeah, it's here.
So while you're opening it, we'll give you a little backgrounder. Since we realized that running has been a part of your life, and since you share the same passion with your brothers Greg and Rene, we decided to have these printed on wood for you and your brothers. I paid for that myself. What do you think?
Okay. Let me just figure this out. Okay.
And if you don't like it, then I'll have to get the opinion of Greg and Rene.
Wow. This is very nice. Perfect. Yeah, it's me with my brothers. In LaSalle Green Hills. I don't know if you recognize it.
Exactly. LaSalle Green Hills, the background. Exactly. And that's our little oval. Right beside the former soccer field.
It used to be grass when I was there in high school. Now they made tartan.
Yeah.
The gym is still there. Yeah, it's actually the main feature of LaSalle Green Hills. You can't miss it. Thank you very much. I really like it.
No, thank you very much. And thank you very much for taking the time to share with us your wisdom. Mr. Jose Mari Banzon, President of the SM Development Corporation. Well, that's the end of our shift, but the clock is always ticking and every second counts. I am Edu Manzano, and this is Clockwork.